What I want to share with you is one thing to get results quickly, but then you can start to add on the overall improvement with sauna and meditation and journaling and exercise, because doing this one thing, this is how we do it in our practice. It enables you then to make everything else that much easier. Welcome back to the show. We're here today, brand new Cabral concept, episode 2938. If you want to check out all the research, head on over to stevencabral.com/2938, because today we're going to be going through the absolute simplest way to reduce stress, anxiety, and cortisol in your life. And this is actually an aggregate of 9 different clinical research studies, all published. You can check this out, and by far and away, the easiest way to do it. Now, I want to share a little caveat, because if you've read my book, The Rain Barrel Effect, I do not believe that there is one and only one sole way in order to improve your overall health. And I think that by relying on only one thing, that it's going to set you up to potentially relapse in the future. I know that for myself as well. So although you can have one category, let me go through them real quick with you right now: diet, exercise, stress reduction, toxin removal, rest, and sleep protocols, right? Emotional balance, scientifically backed supplements, and a success mindset. All of those are vitally important, not only to heal, but also not to relapse in the future. So again, being on a specific diet can be amazing. But can you maintain that then the rest of your life? Should you maintain that the rest of your life? Exercise, love exercise. I've been a huge proponent of it all my life, from my teenage years, well, even as a child, playing sports all the time. So I love that, right? Stress reduction, journaling, meditation, all of those things are great. Sometimes difficult to stick, sometimes difficult to see results quickly. What I want to share with you is one thing to get results quickly, but then you can start to add on the overall improvement with sauna and meditation and journaling and exercise, because doing this one thing, this is how we do it in our practice. It enables you then to make everything else that much easier. That's why when people ask me, do you believe in using nutritional supplements? I say wholeheartedly. If I didn't use nutritional supplements myself, I wouldn't be here able to teach others today. Because when your digestion is so weak, you're not producing enough stomach acid, or maybe too much, and you have candida overgrowth, and you have SIBO, and you have H. pylori, or you have parasites, or you have high levels of stress, and your body's in such a weakened state. Nutritional supplements, which at its core are basically herbs from nature, plants, as an easy to digest extract, right? Like that's basically all that they are. Or vitamins from foods, as an easy to digest, fully methylated form that your body can use. So you have to go through all the enzymatic processes, and same with minerals. But anyway, I digress. But what I used then the nutritional supplements to do was just to allow me to function like a normal human being, so that I wasn't in pain all the time and I wasn't exhausted all the time. So then I could say, oh, I'm actually going to try to meditate now, because when I always try to meditate in my early 20s, within 10 minutes, I would be asleep. That's not an exaggeration. I had debilitating health issues, right? I had Addison's disease and many other issues. So that didn't work, right? And yeah, I would try to journal, but I felt like I was going through the motions. Because why? Well, because I was miserable, right? And so it was hard to be in that right mindset. So by using specific nutritional supplements that were right for my body, that anybody can find out by running something such as the starter kit. Like, that's the truth. I don't know what the right vitamins and minerals are for you, but I can help you find out, right? An Integrative Health Practitioner Level 2 can help you with this, or any health practitioners that's able to run what's called a starter kit. You can just find out what it is at stevencabral.com/starter-kit. Simple hair sample, simple urine sample will give you your gut function, your heavy metals, mineral deficiencies, vitamin deficiencies, simple at-home lab test, completely private. So that is ultimately what will give you back the ability to then set in the lifestyle, which is the whole de-stress protocol. Then you get to keep that for life. And you can then start to reduce the nutritional supplements to just a baseline that you maintain with. But let me just give you one. I told you today, there would be one simple way, the simplest way that I've ever seen to reduce stress, anxiety, and cortisol. Let's get started. Great write-up right here. I have, again, all the scientific literature, all published literature. Thorne Research did a great write-up in this, so I'm going to share it with you. Ashwagandha reduces cortisol levels. Ashwagandha is an Ayurvedic. Now, they gave the credit to traditional Chinese medicine. Ashwagandha is actually an Ayurvedic herb, later used by traditional Chinese medicine. So that part was actually incorrect, but again, we're just drawing straws here. The information's getting out, which is great. Okay, so here's what I want to share with you. 9 studies were reviewed, and 8 of which were completely randomized, double-blinded studies, and 1 was a controlled study. So think about this. These are the best studies in the world. The actual researchers performing the study don't know who is given a placebo or the actual ashwagandha herb. Pretty phenomenal, right? That's how a real study should be done. The study samples were healthy individuals whose mental stress levels were assessed using validated mood, stress, depression, and anxiety questionnaires. To measure the effect on ashwagandha on cortisol levels, 7 of the 9 studies measured plasma cortisol, that just means blood was taken. And the remaining 2 studies used salivary cortisol. That's what we use. We use salivary cortisol in our clinic. The majority of samples were taken in the morning. Supplementation timing and dosage amounts varied among the studies. Here are the results. Let's go through them right now. And I'm going to go through them really quick because then I want to summarize at the end. First study, 300 milligrams was used twice a day for 60 days. What do they find? A 28% reduction in cortisol. 28%. That's huge. Because you don't want to reduce it 100%. Because then you don't have any cortisol, and then you end up with, you can't end up with Addison's by taking ashwagandha. That's not how it works. But you don't want to dramatically reduce your cortisol. You just want to take it down like, 10, 20, 30 basis points. Like you just want to reduce it to a non-stress, anxious-based level. So amazing. 300 milligrams twice a day. Okay. The next study, 300 milligrams twice a day for 56 days. So basically 4 days less. What do they find? A almost 23% reduction. Great. The third study, group 1, 125 milligrams twice a day. That led to a 16.5% reduction in cortisol. The second group was given 300 milligrams twice a day. Both of these were done for 56 days. 56 is a pretty random number, but that's what they did it for. And that group at more than double the dosage, so the 300 milligrams, and keep that in mind, 300 milligrams twice a day, keep that in mind, 32.6% reduction. So now at 300 milligrams, we have a 28%, a 23%, and an almost 33% reduction, right? So if we use different studies, right, different individuals, but so far we're at about an average of 27 or so percent. Interesting. Okay. Fourth study is this. 5 grams powder daily. Doesn't tell you the extract, though. That's the only issue. That's why I don't love this one as much. Showed a reduction of 11% in individuals who were working on fertility. It showed a 28% reduction in those that were smokers, and it showed a 32% reduction in those that were stressed. So it's fascinating. It seemed to work more the more you were stressed. And I want to explain why. Because ashwagandha, like many herbs, are called adaptogens. And that means a healthy, balanced, level person who takes ashwagandha, they're not going to feel too low. They're not going to feel like, oh, I just dropped my energy way too low. No, it's called an adaptogen. If you're too high, it helps bring you back down to baseline. Its job is not to bring you below baseline. That is all the power and wisdom of nature. Okay, let's get into the 5th study. 240 milligrams taken twice a day. 240 milligrams only once a day for 60 days. So these are all about 2-month studies. That was about 24% reduction, 23 to 24%, 23.39 if you want to be specific. Okay. The next one, 60 milligrams for 112 days, which is what, 30, 60, 90, 3.5 months or so, almost 4 months. No significant changes salivary. So 60 milligrams doesn't seem to be enough, which is why we need scientific research. Because if you were to just say, oh, this study, so you can literally quote this study, and this is what people do. Like the conventional medicine quote this study saying ashwagandha does not work to reduce stress. Yeah, ashwagandha does not work to reduce stress at 60 milligrams a day. But guess what? It does at anywhere from 125 milligrams and up, right? Okay, 7th study. This was done over 60 days. 125 milligram used once a day, 125 milligrams used twice a day, and 250 milligrams used twice a day. So we have 125, 250, and 500. Overall, a 30% reduction in plasma in the cortisol, and with ascending dosage led to better results. All right, 2 more studies to go. The 8th study, 225 milligrams a day, group 2, 400 milligrams used twice a day, both for 30 days. And it showed a reduction in salivary cortisol. Okay, so both 225, 400. 9th study, 300 milligrams used once a day, every day for 3 months. 29.87% reduction in cortisol in the plasma. Pretty phenomenal. It's almost 30%. Now, it was a different study, but it was done for an extra month longer, which may lead us to believe that the longer you use ashwagandha, at least past 30 days to at least 90 days, you may get continued and better results. It would be amazing to see some of these 60-day studies had they done actual 90 days. But we have enough data. We know that it works in at least 30 to 60 days. All right. Also to note, they said, several studies found improved scores with the ashwagandha supplementation, and also the higher dose samples found to improve anxiety using the Hamilton Rating Scale for Anxiety. And an additional study, study number 5, just to quote that again, that was 240 milligrams just daily, showed that, let me just give you the exact quote, found that the same rating scale, Hamilton Rating Scale for Anxiety, improved depression and anxiety and stress. Pretty phenomenal. And so when we look at this, we are looking at a suggested dose. Again, I can't give you any medical advice, medical treatment plans, medical cures, or medical diagnosis. But based on these 9 studies, we can share with you that somewhere between 125 milligrams and 600 milligrams per day seems to be the sweet spot. Now, if we were looking for a more precise recommendation, the average person may do really well with 250 to 500 milligrams per day. That's what it seems to be. It's right within that sweet spot. And to use it for 30 days minimum to at least 90 days. Because we know that 90-day study at 300 milligrams a day gave almost a 30% reduction. So really simple when we look at research like this and we're able to share with you not 1 study, but 9, we can also say, the next time your PCP says, oh, there's no need to take supplements, it's just expensive urine, right? That's the go-to quote, which is always hilarious. That you can say, well, just goes to show you, we've got at least 9 studies right here. There's obviously many more that will enable you to reduce stress, anxiety, and maybe even depression using a formula such as an ashwagandha. The product that we use in our clinical practice that we've been using now for about 7 or 8 years is called Adrenal Soothe. You don't need to use that product, but I know that I will get hundreds of questions afterwards. Which one do you use yourself and in your practice? The one that I use myself and in my practice is called Adrenal Soothe. It not only contains ashwagandha, but it contains other herbs and nutrients proven to help reduce stress, overwhelm, and anxiety. It's simply 2 capsules a day, gives you 500 milligrams of ashwagandha and many other nutrients so that you can get the synergistic effect from nature and actually feel like you're calming stress and just getting you to that baseline that you deserve. You can dose it based on your specific needs. And of course, you can just go to, it's stephencabral.com/shop. It just takes you over to my virtual functional medicine where we ship all over the world. But again, you don't need to get that product, but take a look at the label. Take a look at the ingredients that are included, because this is one, not only is it proved by science here, but also in the real world with hundreds of thousands of wellness clients in our practice from around the world. So hopefully that was helpful. You can head on over to stephencabral.com/2938 if you would like some of the research links for the studies. I can't link up Adrenal Soothe there, but you know how to find it if you are interested. Take care, everybody. Have an amazing rest of the day, and I will be back tomorrow with a special podcast on how to spot fake or counterfeit nutritional supplements. This is important because they're popping up more and more in this industry. Take care. Thanks so much for tuning into today's show. Before you go, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I want to make sure that you're getting our daily content, not missing out on anything. Functional medicine, wellness, weight gain, weight loss, anti-aging, living longer, stronger, and all of the most cutting-edge research. And if there's any topics you want to hear, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Take care.